reason is, as the American people hear about this so-called election bill, what they're realizing, it is not something that's going to make their local election safer. It is something that is going to put that power into Washington, D.C. Now, what we are hearing from the majority leader and the Democratic leadership is they've got to get rid of the filibuster in order to push forward this election bill, adding states, packing courts, all of this laundry list of a socialist agenda that they are planning to execute. So what I want to do today for a couple of minutes is just walk us down memory lane as to what people have had to say, our Democratic colleagues have had to say about the filibuster. Now, in May of 2005, then Senator Joe Biden came to the floor and he vigorously jumped into the middle of a debate over the filibuster. He said that things would go very wrong if his colleagues decided to blow up the rules to get their way. What's interesting about Senator Biden's position is that it had almost nothing to do with his policy goals. And here's his quote, and I quote, "Folks who want to see this change want to eliminate one of the procedural mechanisms designed for the express purpose of guaranteeing individual rights, and they also have a consequence, and would undermine the protections of a minority point of view in the heat of majority excess," end quote. He understood at that point in time the importance of preserving the Senate's institutional power and abiding by standards that not only welcome but require deliberation and compromise. Well, what a difference a few years and a Senate majority can make. Today, we're having the exact same debate, but the power my Democratic colleagues won in the last election has changed their minds about breaking the Senate to get their way. Problem is, the Senate is not broken. It does not need their changes, but the rules no longer matter to the majority leader, even though he said as recently as 2017, and I quote, "Let us go no further down this road. I hope the Republican leader and I can, in the coming months, find a way to build a firewall around the legislative filibuster, which is the most important distinction between the Senate and the House. Without the 60-vote threshold for legislation, the Senate becomes a majoritarian institution like the House, much more subject to the winds of short-term electoral change." Well, my. How about that? He understood the dangers of legislative whiplash even when he was in the minority. So did my colleague, Senator Durbin, who said in 2018 he believed that ending the filibuster would, and I'm quoting him, "be the end of the Senate as it was originally devised and created going back to our founding fathers," end quote. Well, I would ask the gentlemen from New York and Illinois, what happened here? What changed their mind so drastically? They've done a 180. I'd ask the same question of many of my Democratic colleagues. In 2017, 32 Senate Democrats, yes, that is correct, 32, many of whom are still serving in this chamber today, signed on to a bipartisan letter in support of the filibuster. Now, they too have changed their minds. Makes you wonder, what is everybody on the Democratic aisle drinking these days? This is no way to run the world's greatest deliberative body, but it's a great way to destroy it. And between 2017 and today, 32 Senate Democrats have changed their mind about how to handle the filibuster. Over the past year, We've watched Joe Biden and the Democrats attack more than one institution forming the foundation of this nation. The Supreme Court, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, limits on the power of the executive, and now the Senate rules have all proved to be inconvenient to their agenda and ending up on the chopping block. That's where they're putting them. My Democratic colleagues may be frustrated, but that is just too bad. The Senate was not designed to rubber stamp legislation that is so belligerently foolish it can't tempt a single Republican vote, not one, no. The Senate was designed to protect the American people and the institution itself from short-sighted leadership. My colleagues claim that all they're asking for is one teeny little carve-out, just one. But I would remind them that there's only so much carving you can do before you reduce the entire thing to dust. And based on their track record, we have no reason to trust that they'll stop carving and put down the knife rather than use it to hold the Senate hostage the next time they can't scrunch up the votes to check something off their to-do list. I yield the floor.